I started a 100 push-up, 100 pull-up, 1 to 10 miles I was going for. Start with one, and then depending on how early it is, how many cars, how bothered I felt, I would do more. And then I crashed the next day after. The brakes on my bike just weren't there anymore suddenly. So going down this huge hill, you won't be able to see it, but I'm about 3 miles up a mountain. The mountain's 2,500 feet at the top. This big, maybe 3 or 4 football fields of decline right here. And then I crashed in the, coincidentally, I crashed in the Our Lady of whatever church, the only big Catholic church here. And the people in there, I'd come in there and told them about God, told them my crazy stories, and every time they go, "Oh my God," and they like tears in their eyes because it's so crazy, but the exact way it happened and the way that I can recall it makes sense to them. It starts to grow and it breaks things and it sheds bad habits because it's confirmation and validation of something. But when I crashed, all those people drove by and they saw me unconscious. I had landed on my chest and my shoulder and I rolled over it and I was knocked unconscious because I hit the ground going 60 and I dropped 6 feet according to the EMTs. I was within 45 to 60, but I was well past the speed limit. So these people the only people I trusted, I thought that church let me charge my stuff there. They were good people. I thought that they cared. As I'm waking up and I'm screaming. I'm like, please help, please, I can't move, I can't move, I can't move. And I look up a little bit and I see them just sitting at the intersection. Everyone I spoke to about God, everyone that gave me free food, the Knights of Columbus, they have a Freemason flag, but it's a Catholic church. The people that welcomed me and I spoke at their homeless sex trafficking talk and I tried to help them, but they every time I tried to speak to them, they closed off and they got the same darkness I talk about where they try to infect me with whatever they have going on. So a lot of people came up and were just touching me, trying to infuse me into their network, and it was disgusting in there. But I thought that they cared because what I get from everyone else is so much worse. So to see them, the last people that I had faith in when I crashed this summer, drive by me and won't look at me. It's the middle of summer, their windows are down. It's completely quiet. Nobody else is around. It's like just as quiet as this because everybody's at work and there's nobody here. Nobody lives here. So those people were like deep in the mountains. 3 or 4 cars full of people drove by with their windows down and nobody said anything to me. And I crashed my bike into their property. So I was dazed. I couldn't feel my left side. It was like my whole body couldn't move at first, and I thought I was paralyzed. And then because I saw Kill Bill, I was wiggling. I was wiggling my feet. I was like, come on, don't do it. Don't be true. So I waited until I got this huge, and then shot myself up. I crawled onto this like manhole that sticks out, the cement manhole that I was diving off my bike to get away from when I fell. And then I limped over to the church lot where behind the church where I charged my stuff and I called the police. And then while I'm there, I'm standing there and I can feel some type of huge energy. Like maybe I'm just activated and I'm not settled like these guys. But the state police road rides by and they don't help me. They see me limping and they don't help. They just drive. They go down the road slowly and then they take off. And then the EMTs are on the phone saying with somebody saying, "Yeah, he's complaining that his side hurts." And I get there and they give me like one Tylenol and they wait for like a couple hours to do x-rays. I can't move once the adrenaline wears off and I'm in the neck brace. So I can feel all of them are still playing these stupid social games. So I just start going, Angel Eagle, come on down from the heavens just to help us on our way. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And I can feel me growing, and I won't stop, and they're not going to tell me to stop. And I was pretty good at it too. I was a lot more focused and not stuck because I had freed myself with the trauma. With the yeah. So then the nurse comes in, and they essentially kick me out, and I can barely move. Like I'm limping and my whole body hurts, and I have this heavy ass backpack. So I know how the simulation works. I know how like probably what Battle for Your Brain is getting at. I didn't read your comment yet, but I know that there's going to be something out there, and I know it's going to be like simulation breaking because I'm free, and when I'm free, um it's like the forces are so active. So as soon as I get out, there's like a group of old women that are struggling to get into their car, and they're looking around for help. So I'm like, I got you. And I was like, do you mind if I just crashed going 60 and I fell 6 feet and whatever. And they drove me back to the church. And then I think I laid on the ground that night. And then at some point I made it back up the couple miles to my tent. And then when I woke up, I couldn't move again. Everything hurt. So my arm is still hurting. It's still hurting, but it's been months. So I'm also very sick. I know what a fever is at this point. I've known what 105 feels like. I'd say I'm at 100. Yeah, my left side really hurts. Oh, fuck. Ow. 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 Yeah. Okay. 3. My shoulder hurts, but everything else is fine. I'm actually not a complainer at all. I mostly like just vent because I feel trapped. The real me sees all that as weakness and bullshit because your actions speak louder than words. It's just they literally stopped me from being able to do anything. So that's all I could do. So yeah, I'd say I'm sitting at 101, and I think it was worse. I think when you don't have a place to sleep inside, and you don't have, and in that box, it's not surrounded by very healthy people. Like the only way to really be healthy at this point is to like escape into the forest and have your own nice clean box in a field. Like that's the only way I can. Everything else is just living in unhealthiness and just making it work. So I think the cold temperatures, I already had a destroyed immune system because I haven't had a chance to heal at all. I get like 2 hours of sleep, and it's kind of sleeping with one eye open because there are bears, stuff like that. Like the last time I remember I got a good night's sleep was when I woke up and the kids tried to crush my head with a log, and that's on God. Like that was the last time I felt like I had gotten a good night's sleep, and that was during the day. I slept from like 8 a.m. to 2:30. So when the cold dropped and I moved further outside of the cabin, I started hanging out in the woods. I got really sick. But the shoulder doesn't hurt anymore. It hurts when I'm using it, when I'm doing the push-ups, but there used to be this throbbing pain in my shoulder. So that's nice. If anybody feels it, God allows people to feel good after they do bad things, because it really is, the bigger they are, the harder they fall. People that point fingers at others, God turns the people that they point their fingers at into a reflection. And I think that that's the biggest thing I have as an 11, is that I'm a giant walking mirror for people. Sometimes I think I'm like a teddy bear. Until you try to poke it. But I just can't believe that there are forces of bad that are actually more powerful than the forces of good. I don't think that's the case, and I think that morality and decisions to hurt others and hold power over others and slavery and all that stuff, I don't know how the wealth is going to get distributed from the people that steal it and harvest it, like my mother. But I know that I gain a lot more character and a lot more strength after undergoing suffering from all the enemies that I've had. And I know that the enemies, it's something the enemies can't take. So God might be allowing people to be these kind of extreme narcissists trapped in their own delusions and taking it out on the world. But the people that they're doing it to are gaining the real wealth. You could say, this is the first example that came to me, and it was just saying that like the slave trade for the Irish and the Africans and the indigenous, it only made their genetics tougher. So then later on down the line, now that we're here, that ancestral trauma is still very present. You could say, like, I want to say fast twitch muscle fibers, you know, like it's still there. And that sacrifice, now those people that thought that they were perfect and better than everybody else, they're dying early because their genetics are inbred. When you look at them, their fucking face is falling off. They're stuck and they're trapped. All they have is Facebook. That's all they do. So I just want to remind everyone that you probably have a calling, and there's something that's shining above you or in you, that knows the truth, like who you really are, even if you've settled and trapped. There's something that you know who you are and what you're capable of and what you should be doing and what you're supposed to be doing. This is just the confirmation that you should start doing it, because we don't have a lot of time left before the big game. So don't do yourself the disservice of wasting your potential. I don't know what to do. I know that the enemy's heavy on me. The enemy's very heavy on me. So it must mean there's something I'm supposed to be doing that's scary to it. But I'm learning. I had to learn. My biggest issue was that I saw the entire world as my family, and I haven't found a single person in the world that deserves my love. So I had to learn to cut everybody off and let them all die. And I watched them all die. Pathetic. Shriveled up waste of life. Trying anything they can. Except what's right in front of their face. My mom would rather have me killed than admit that. She's selfish. And at the end of the day, I didn't like my mom when I was 7. I didn't like my mom when I was born. I never loved my mom. There's not really a time. I can remember once where I felt like if she died and I almost cried, but then I realized my entire life was me fighting off her programming, her influence, trying to not be like them, and having them desperately try to destroy me. And watching demons use their bodies as like the Sims game, they were just kind of getting in whenever they could, and like a VR game, they were just having a field day, deep alone in the woods, possessing my parents and running them around. And I had no knowledge or awareness of it, so I'm sure I can look back through my life and see that pretty much a lot of it I was entrenched in they had grown into me. And that took a lot of work. So I wish them all the best. They had years, but I can't do it anymore. I'm gonna look that up right now.